after about the migrants and something that she had seen on the news, maybe about the migrants selling.
No, I was out running errands.
Oh, okay. So, okay. See, okay. So
I haven't watched
tell
the
us
news
about it
too much. I keep hearing all these things that the establishment is doing for migrants, and I have observed them in the store trying to count pennies to buy necessity like a pan to wash in and stuff. But the one that got my attention today, when I decided I would try and get out early enough in and get some errands done, I used to go to the store, a couple of stores, and get a few things and get back in the house and start my spring cleanups. And I kept seeing these people in the street, and I'm going across the light. And finally, I had got stopped at the red light, and this man came up to me. He had a box of candy in bars, and he was holding them up in the window. I don't know, could he speak English or not, but he was trying to get me to buy candy for him, I guess, so he could make some extra money. And I shook my head and told him no, I didn't want any candy because I am a sugar freak, so I didn't need no help with no candy. And then I looked down the street. There was another lady. She was running like crazy back and forth carrying a box. She was trying to sell candy to people that was driving down the street. And from what I could observe, the English was not very good, because I was a little afraid they were going to get ran over because they kept running. But that's a pretty desperate measure. You're going to walk that line down in where the cars go. And the lady was running in this line. She was going from car to car, side to side, the right lane, left lane. And she was still holding candy, trying to get people in the car to buy some. So what would drive people to go to that extent to try and get money if they've been given all this money as migrants to the city? I had seen on the news where they said that the migrant was threatening the mayors and so forth because they wasn't getting enough public aid to help them. So did they not get the public aid? There's something wrong with the picture. I just cannot bring it into focus.
Okay. I know that we're constantly, I was telling Miss Mary that we're constantly seeing things that, and we've talked about it several times, many times, about how I noticed that there's a pattern in the same story, whether you're looking at something mainstream news, or you're looking at people who've seen mainstream news and they're giving their commentary. It always starts with all the things that the migrants are getting. Okay, it can be very surface, and sometimes it's very specific. They'll say they're getting $9,000 of this, they're getting $15,000 of this for a home, for housing, for this, for that. But then right on the heels of it, in the same particular commentary or news, right after saying that, it kind of reminds me, now that I'm talking, and I didn't remember when I was talking to Miss Mary, it's what would kind of get under my skin a little bit when they would talk about crime.
Right.
They say they give all the percentages. Crime, they tell you the whole thing is about who got shot, who got killed, who got stabbed, they got ran over, who died, who burned up in the fire, who, I don't know, carjacked, and then they'll say crime is down. And then I'd be like, say what now? Every single time they'd say the whole thing. It's kind of like the medicine. Okay, take Ozempic, and they'll tell you what it's for. Then they talk about the side effects, and then I'll sit there at the end and say, what was that medicine for? What was that medicine for? Okay, and I can't remember, but I remember all the side effects, but I can't remember what the medicine actually was for.
Well, you know,
what was it for?
With that medication thing and their side effects, the medication they said that would clear your vision, but your tongue would swell up,
right,
and your eyes bulge out,
and then you have a fatal event, then you die,
and your shoulders have no feeling in it.
Right.
So what would you prefer?
Diarrhea.
Right. So why would you prefer? The thing that it had for, or the other side of it?
Gangrene. And your private is the diabetic medicine.
Right.
I was like, say what? Wait a minute. Wait. Say. Okay, so you got the diabetes, and now you're going to take this medicine to help you to manage the diabetes. But now you got a problem with the gangrene, but in your privacy, as they would say. So then I'm like, okay, diabetes, gangrene in your privates. I'm gonna pick the diabetes, I'm thinking, because okay, that's okay. It's like the lesser of two evils in this society. So when they talk, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
When they talk about the migrants and they tell them all these things allegedly that they have, then right on the heels of it, you start to hear about like what Miss Mary is saying and worse. And then I'm like, so if they're getting all of these things that you're saying that they're getting, why would they be doing it? It doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't make sense. Not to say just because I'm getting this, then I'm not going to try. I'm not going to be hardworking. I'm not going to try to make my own. That's not what I'm saying. And I know that that we're not alone in this, but the things like with Miss Mary, the way she described it, the way they're moving, the whole feel of it is like, if I don't do this, then I won't survive. So if you're getting all of these things, this is not the behavior. It's not matching up.
No, it's not.
Then what I told Miss Mary, but I didn't follow up on it, was yesterday in the evening, I kept seeing all this thing about people going to the border and some kind of rally. Some people are saying that they're going down. I haven't followed up with it today because we've been busy doing other stuff. And you can't spend all your time worried about that certain things, because that's what I feel like the adversary wants you to do, is to become so wrapped up and you don't do the things that you need to do.
Right.
But they said they're going to rally. Then they show an older guy, two older guys were saying, all I know, he says, I don't want people to get sidetracked. We're going down to the border to pray. He says, but I got a bad feeling that the people that are going down with us are not, they're going to lose focus, and they're not going down there to pray. They're going to go down there for violence, to do something, and that's not why we're going. I don't know what happened. I don't know if you guys know what happened. I haven't looked into it yet, but all I could hear was they were having full convoys of people going down to the borders. I didn't really know myself why they were going down there. Maybe a peaceful rally or something. But this guy added to pray, but he was concerned that it was going to turn into something else. Very negative. Miss Mary said she hadn't seen anything yet because she has been busy herself. So I don't know. I would imagine with all things you have the best intentions, and then people go down there for other things because they're so frustrated. Right. Go ahead, Mom. They're frustrated.
Well, that's the last thing the migrants need, is someone coming down there with some violence. Seem like they're trying to survive. And violence would not fit in, but I don't know.
I guess they're just frustrated. The people that live here are just, and I get it, frustrated because of the things that we're talking about. A lot of the things do not make sense. They don't match up, and they keep coming, and they keep coming, and they keep coming some more. And then I think tempers are high because of what Miss Mary says she saw. And I seen it briefly. I don't know, was it just in New York? But some police officers got attacked by some migrants. The footage that I saw was a clip, and he was down on the ground. It was one particular officer, and he was being kicked and stomped by a bunch of migrants. And then I think they apprehended one well, they apprehended more than one